Yeah. See, a lot of people think that life is about having things, but we came to talk to y'all today about one who's greater than anything you could ever have.
You said this life is all you have, but you wasted time and time again. I pray that you could see how beautiful is the one.
That's okay, right? It's Friday, and you got a weekend to look forward to. How many of you guys remember me from the last time I was here, heard about me, or knew that I was here? I need to see your hands. I can't see. Up. She's like,
yep.
All right, just a few of you guys. Okay. So what I came in here to talk about today will be a little bit different. But the last time I was here, I talked about the Champions Challenge. I talked about my background, my testimony, some of the things that I went through. Okay. So when I come here, this is also my friend Robert. He's here. He's going to talk to you guys a little bit today too. I'm a friend of your teachers, and she had asked me to come in. Why? Because I have a story. I have a story that I share with youth and with other people like you all over the place. Why? Because my story may be similar to your story. And again, what I'm going to talk about today has nothing to do with skin color. It has nothing to do with what city you live in, where you're from, how you're being brought up, how you were brought up, what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter, right? Because at the end of the day, when you peel back all of those differences, we're still people, right? We all come from the same place. You know, I talked about it last time. How many fingers do I have on this hand? 4. Well, then, okay. I got 5 fingers, right? I got 2 hands. How many of you guys got? It's the same, right? Right? I got 2 legs, you got 2 legs. I got 2 eyes, you got 2 eyes. We're the same. Just a little bit different, and that's okay, because difference is okay. Last time I was here, I talked about my story. See, I'm 30 years old today. And you guys, you know, maybe what, 14, 15 years old? 17. Is this 9th grade?
This is 9 through 12.
Oh, okay.
This class is on everybody.
Okay, who's the youngest in this class?
There are freshmen in here.
You're 13? How old are you?
14.
Okay, 13. Who's the oldest? How old are you?
18.
Congratulations. You're about to be done, right? You senior? Congratulations. You only got, what, a couple more months to go, and it's game over. On to being an adult. I made a lot of poor decisions. I made a lot of bad decisions. And my bad decisions led me to consequences. Led me to going to jail. Led me to dropping out of school. Led me to really almost dying, because I overdosed and almost died. And how many people know that once you die, there's no coming back? How many people know that when you go to jail and they sentence you to whatever it is, there ain't no getting out? Right? When you drop out of school and you make the decision that I'm not coming back, if they'll let you back, that's great. But if not, now you have a whole life ahead of you. And what will happen will be based on the decisions that you made. You might be saying, why is this guy here? Why? Because I care about you. And I care about today's young people, because you guys are our future. You are the future. You're the future for us old people. See, you're 15, I'm 30. Guess what? When you guys are 30, it'll happen just like this. I promise. I'll be 45, almost 50, going over that hill. And that's scary. Why? Because every day I can look back, and it seems like yesterday when I was sitting in 9th grade or 10th grade or 11th grade. The difference is I wasn't able to graduate. I didn't walk down the aisle. I didn't get my diploma. Why? Because of decisions that I made. And a lot of time when you're young, you make decisions and really don't think of what the consequence to your decision is. Last time I was here, I asked you guys, how many of you guys, based on the statistics that I read last time, which I don't have today, the statistics for young people today, especially in inner cities, 50% drop out of school. A large percentage end up going to jail. A large percentage actually end up dying young. You want to hear a crazy statistic? And I just happen to have this one here. And this is real. I don't make this stuff up, okay? And again, skin color to me means nothing. My wife's Mexican and Filipino. I have kids that are mixed. I have friends that are African American. My pastor's African American. Skin color to me means nothing, and it shouldn't mean nothing to you. What happened in the past was the past. Who cares? We can't control what other people did. What we can control is what we do today. What we do today. Because we all have the same issues. We all have the same problems. We all go through similar things. And skin color should have nothing to do with it. Are there ignorant white people out there? Absolutely. Are there ignorant black people out there? Absolutely. There's ignorant people, and you can separate one of every single kind of people, and guess what? We're all ignorant. We all act a fool. We all make stupid decisions, and you know what? There's something that maybe from our past, usually the people that are racist is because their parents were racist, and it's been preached to them to not like certain people, or not like fat people, or not like skinny people, or not like tall people, or light-skinned people. It don't matter. But what is that again? It's a choice. Check this out. The chance of an African-American man meeting a violent death in his city is greater than the chance of a U.S. soldier dying on the battlefields of Iraq. The chance of a young African-American meeting a violent death in his city is greater than the chance of a U.S. soldier dying on the battlefields of Iraq. That's pretty messed up. But this is reality. And that's why we come into schools. That's why we come in to talk to you guys. Why? Because I don't want to see this happen anymore. And we challenged the last class that we were in a couple months ago, how many people want to see change? How many people want to see change in their school? How many people want to see change in their neighborhood? How many people want to see change in their home? And everybody raised their hand. And if they didn't raise their hand, it's just because they have too much pride and stubbornness to acknowledge the issues. And it may not bother you when somebody gets killed on your block or down the street or you hurt them, but guess what? It's going to matter to you when it's your brother or your sister. It's going to matter to you if your daddy gets smoked or your mama dies. It's going to matter to you then. So it should matter to you now. And there's a false message being preached to young people today all over this nation of what you need to be and how you need to act and the choices you need to make. And guess what? When you're young, I have my daughter will be a teenager this year, 13 years old, and it's crazy. And I got to constantly be in her ear about decisions that she's making. Why? Because I tell her, in 7th grade, right now what you do is going to determine your future. Right now what you do is going to determine where you are 15 years from now. You guys don't think that, I'm sure. You just show up in class because your mom or your daddy's making you, grandma's making you come to school. You just come. And I don't know what your grades were, okay?
Yes, I can.
But the last time I was here, I looked at all the grades on the board, and pretty much 98% of the class was failing.
Okay, have them on my cell phone. Okay.
98% was D's, E's, and F's. Whatever they were. It was D and below.
You too. Okay.
And we also challenged everybody last time. And I'll ask you guys, since you're a new class, how many of you guys have some sort of dream or goal for your life of what you want to do, accomplish, or be? How many people actually have a dream or a goal? Whether it's, I have a dream that I want to live in a big house, I want to go to University of Michigan, I want to do this, that, and the other, right? Everybody does, right? So let me ask you an honest question. Do you have a game plan in place right now to get you there? Are you making decisions today? You say you want to be a doctor. You say you want to be an NBA player. Are you out there practicing on the court every single day? Because that's what it takes. That's what makes LeBron James so good. He's one of the #1 players that practices so hard. You want to be a doctor? Guess what? You guys ever heard of Dr. Ben Carson? He's from Detroit, right? What was his mama having him do while everybody else was out playing in the streets? Does anybody know?
Read.
Every day. His mama had him reading books every day. And then doing book reports. Do you think he wanted to do that? Heck no. Do you think my daughter wants to do everything I tell her to? Heck no. Because it's in us to take the easy way out. We'd rather watch TV than read a book. That's just being real. We'd rather turn on Madden or NBA 2K or be on the cell phone, Facebook, text messaging, talking about he said, she said. That ain't going to get you where you're trying to go. And I'm being real today. Every time I come in here and I'm before you guys or I'm before other people, I want you to take what I'm saying for real, because guess what? If you don't know where you're going, or you don't know that what you're doing today determines your tomorrow, guess what? You're just going to exist. And statistics say you'll probably get sick of school one day when you don't really care what mommy and daddy are saying anymore. You just don't show up. You'd rather be out hanging out, chilling, smoking weed, drinking. Where's that going to get you? I was there. So there's no condemnation or judgment in what I'm saying. I dropped out of school. I dropped out of school. I got a felony on my record. I sold drugs to a cop. I've been in 4 county jails. I got 13 charges on my record. I'm not proud of it. But guess what? That made me who I am today, to be able to come in here and talk to y'all. Because when I was young, I used to say, nah, not me. Not me. I'm just smoking weed. That's it. I'm not sniffing coke. I'm not popping pills. I'm not doing this. Well, guess what? Before I knew it, I was in the hospital overdosing, on the table, almost dead. Almost dead. My heart almost exploded. But when I was 13 and 14 years old, I would have never thought that would have happened. Just like you guys don't know what tomorrow brings, right? You don't know what next year brings. But guess what? It's what you do today that determines your tomorrow. Is anybody feeling what I'm saying right now? Is anybody hearing me? Regardless if you want to acknowledge it or not, I want you to hear me, okay? Because you guys may not hear some of this stuff. Your mom and your daddy may not care what you're doing. You may not have somebody telling you, good job, son. Good job, ma. But guess what? It don't matter how old you get. We all want that. No matter how hard you think you are and how hard of a reputation you think you got to put on in an image, deep down inside you, bro, you just want to be loved. We all just want to be loved. We all want to be accepted. And some of you guys may not even have mommy or daddy at home. And you know what? Deep down inside, that hurts. And a lot of that is what causes the decisions and the things that you do. Can you help me out, man? Can you pass this out for me, please? Thank you. I'm going to talk to you guys about something today, and I hope this really sticks in your brain. And I'm going to try to come back before the end of this semester, and I want to put a challenge on the table for you. If you weren't here last time, it's called the Champions Challenge. Because guess what, guys? Look up here as he's passing those out. What does it say? I create my own world. I create my own world. Where I am today as a 30-year-old man, I create my own world. The decisions that I've made have brought me to where I am today, and luckily I had a second chance to be able to be where I'm at today, because there's so many kids, and I grew up in the suburbs, so guess what? It doesn't matter. I got so many kids that I went to school with that are in the grave right now because of decisions they made, because of choices they made. Thank you, sir. What does C plus C equal? Somebody, what does C plus C equal? Everybody can say it. What does C plus C equal? This ain't a real math problem, guys. This is just something that I came up with. So it's not really, like my wife was looking at it like, no, it's to the square root. I'm like, I don't even know what that means. It's C plus C equals C. Here it is, guys. The circumstance plus whose choice? I need to hear everybody. I really appreciate your participation when I'm here, even if you don't want to. Whose choice?
My choice.
Whose choice?
My choice.
Equals the consequence. What does that mean? Okay? Somebody read for me what a circumstance is right below. What's a circumstance? One person, go.
Circumstance is a situation, place, or event.
What's a choice? Somebody else.
Is an act of selecting or making a decision when faced with 2 or more possibilities.
How many possibilities?
2 or more.
How many?
2 or more.
Right. And please read what a consequence is.
The consequence is the result or outcome of something occurring earlier.
All right, guys. I want you to be very attentive to what I'm about to say. Listen to this, okay? A circumstance is a situation, place, or event. We all have circumstances every single day. Circumstances, I'm in the hallway, and so just called me a punk, or threw my books on the ground. At that moment, you have a choice to make. How many choices do you have?
2 or more.
How many?
2 or more.
Your initial emotion may want you to pull back and hit that fool in the face. He just called me a punk. He just knocked my books on the ground. See, you may think you need to respond a certain way because you're afraid that, what are people going to think? I just got punked. He just called me a punk. He just knocked my books on the ground. And the problem with a lot of youth today, not just youth, all people, but youth, is we just want to react without thinking. We want to make a choice without weighing out what those, how many choices? 2 or more choices may be. And I want you to see what I'm about to say here, because what? Your circumstance gives you a choice which leads to a circumstance. So let's just say you want to take that initial choice because you're worried about what everybody else thinks about you, and if I don't hit this fool in the face, then I'm going to be considered a punk. Well, guess what? Let me tell you. It doesn't matter what anybody thinks about you. Get that out of your mind right now. That's been a lie that has been planted into your heads. It was planted into my head, and it's planted into people's head all over this world that we should really, truly care about what other people think about us. Why? Because if you didn't care what people thought about you, you may think about your choices a little bit different. You think you got to be hard so that you can fit in on the block with all your boys. You think you got to be all Miss Pretty, because if not, then you're going to be dissed by the girls that are all cool. Guess what? None of that stuff matters when you're 30 years old. I know it's tough being a young person. I was a young person. You're trying to fit in. You're trying to create this image. You're trying to figure out who you are. But let me tell you guys, I made a lot of poor decisions trying to be somebody or fit in, and guess what? It almost took my life. I thought I had to sell drugs and do this and that and the other. And guess what? It was a lie and a deception. And my choices led me to my circumstances. So you get into a fight. And let's say you punch the dude in the face, right? What are some of the circumstances, the consequences to hitting that dude in the mouth? Give me one.
They for charges of working.
Right. Jail. What else? Suspended. What else?
Getting hit back.
Getting hit back, or what else? How about getting shot and killed? Happens every day. So watch this. But let's just say you hit my man in the face, right? And let's say my man falls back, nails his skull on the ground, cracks it open, and he's dead, bleeding on the floor of Mumford High School. And all you did was what? Made a choice because you didn't want to be a punk. Because he called you a name, you felt you had to hit him. Now you're in court being faced with either second-degree murder, let's say, or manslaughter. 15 years old, 16 years old, whatever you are, you're facing 10 to 15. The judge says, guilty. I'm sentencing you to prison for 10 to 15 years. Hands behind the back, cuffs go on. You're in the orange suit, you're gone. Let me ask you a question. Was it worth it? Would you trade throwing a punch in somebody's mouth to go spend 15 years in jail and lose your freedom? Is your image that important to you? Is your reputation that important to you? I sure hope not. I sure hope not. And that's the problem with today's youth. All across this nation is they're more worried about their reputation and their image of what other people are going to think, so they make a choice. They don't weigh out the 2 or more choices. So now you're sitting in jail for 15 years, and you're going to wish you would have weighed out the different choices. Or you're a female, and that dude looks so good, right? And he just wants to take you, and you're at a party, and he wants to take you upstairs, okay? Now you're what? A circumstance is a situation, okay? He looks good, you got to have him, right? You heard he's the man. You have how many choices? Do you have to jump in bed with him, yes or no?
No.
Do you have to jump in bed with her, yes or no? But it's normal, Justin. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it. It's okay. So you make the choice. I'm doing it. Sex. Consequence. How do you know my man doesn't have HIV? How do you know she doesn't have HIV? Was it worth it? Because it's only going to last about, 5-10 minutes anyway? I'm being real. 20 minutes, an hour. You're the man, you can go 2 hours. Hey, guess what, guys? There's no female. I don't care if you're Kim Kardashian, and she's fine. My wife knows I think she's fine. It's okay. But guess what? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Because once you got this, it's pretty much game over. Does this always happen? No. Does this always happen? No. But how do you know? You don't know. You don't know. All right, circumstance. Situation, place, or event. I'm in school. I'm flunking anyway. What's the point in continuing to show up to that place? I drop out of school. Okay? Here's my choice. I'm dropping out. Mickey D's, baby. Mickey D's. Or whatever job you get. I dropped out of school. I know. But luckily I had a second chance. I had a second chance. Most people don't. Most people don't. Or, let's say, everybody on your block, your older brother, your cousin, they're hustling. And they got the rims, they got the Benz, they got it going on. So it seems, right? What you see on the outside looks really, really good. But you're willing to trade what you have in here for what you think they have out there. And trust me, how many people know of a drug dealer that's really retired and lived a good life? Usually they end up in jail or dead. It usually happens to one or the other. You can't just live a good life. You're always looking over your back. You're always worried about it. Cops will find you. It happens no matter what, sooner or later. So you decide you want to hustle, right? You drop out of school, you go sell drugs, bam, you get caught. 20 years. Or, well, I'm talking about if you're hustling hard. Or, your opponent, your enemy, pulls the trigger. You ain't coming back, sorry. How many choices do you have?
2 or more.
How many choices do you have?
2 or more.
Guess what? These were all choices. And how many of you guys know people right now that have made these choices and are making them on a daily basis? Come on, y'all. You guys aren't dumb. You guys are here on a Friday. You guys chose. It was your choice to come to school. Congratulations. It's your choice to keep going. Nobody's going to make you. Stop blaming other people for your choices. Stop blaming what mommy or daddy didn't do for you. Guess what? It was my choice to drop out of school. It was my choice to get that girl pregnant when I was 18. It was my choice to sell those drugs to a cop. It was my choice to pop pills and sniff coke and smoke blunts and do all this stuff all at the same time and overdose and almost die. My choice. Nobody put the blunt to my lips. Nobody poured the Hennessy in my coke. I did. Nobody made me get behind the wheel and get into a drunk driving accident and almost lose my life. That was my choice. I praise God every day that He allowed me to live through it. Why? Because there's people dying every single day right here in your neighborhood, right here in your city for making these dumb decisions. Is it worth it? I want you to really think about that. And that's why I gave you this. And I pray that you guys take it with you. Why? Put it in your locker. Put it in your bag. Look at it every day. Is the circumstance that I face today and the choice that I make worth the consequence? Think about it next time. I pray it gets embedded on your brain. Remember that white man that came into the school and he was telling us about choices? Think about it when my man tries to punk you in the hall. Because I'm going to get to him. He's going to hear the same message. I'll stand in front of the hardest person in this school and I will literally dissect everything that's going on the outer to get to the inner, and I can identify what causes him to be the way he is and what he's really looking for deep down within. It's all an image, y'all. It's all fake. And the statistics that I read last time I was here are intense. Young people dying every day, going to jail, dropping out of school. And then when you're my age, you can't go back to school. Yeah, things can change and you can turn, but the reality is it's very few and far between. I want you to think about the 3 C's. Call it the 3 C's. I pray that it becomes like an alert system beeping in your head when you're faced with making that decision. It doesn't matter what everybody's doing. It doesn't matter what's normal. It doesn't. You guys need to rise up and be leaders and not followers. It's okay. And we're putting programs in place right now. We care about Mumford High School. This is my second time here, and I'm going to keep coming back. You're going to get sick of me before it's over. And we're going to put programs and things in place to be able to come alongside you and help you to achieve those goals, to achieve those dreams, to be able to connect with you and build relationships with you. I want to see a group of leaders rise up and actually stand for what's right versus what's wrong. Most young people today wouldn't even rather stand up for what's right because they're afraid what is everybody else going to think, because most people are standing up for what's wrong. I really want you guys to think about this. And I really want you to know that I really care about you guys. And you guys, this up here, if you guys are on Facebook or whatever, Justin Ford Speaks is the name of my institution. And you guys can find me on Facebook. Hit the like button. Let's be friends. I'm here for you. You're going through something? Inbox me. Let me know what's going on. I'm here for you. You need prayer? I'll pray with you. You need to know how to handle a certain situation? I'm going to help you. I'm serious. What you do today matters. What you do today matters. And what you do today determines your tomorrow. And I can assure you, I pray that those walls and those lies that have been programmed in your head start to change and come down. Why? Because it doesn't matter what my man thinks on the block. It doesn't matter what the girl thinks down the hall. It doesn't matter. Who are you? Stop being what somebody else wants you to be. Who are you? Who are you? And you need to identify that. And I would encourage you guys to write down your plan for the future. Write down your goals. Write down where you want to go to school. Write down what you want to become. And guess what? Write down the plan. And next time I come in, we'll identify how to help you get there. I'm serious. I want to bring Robert up right now because Robert's going to talk about a book that was written at a company that he represents about the law. About things that you may or may not really understand about the law based on decisions that you may make today that could put you behind bars. And we want to educate you. We want to give you guys information so that you can make what? Better choices. Better choices. Because guess what? When it's all said and done, guys, here it is. On the count of 3, I want you guys to say, I create my own world. Okay? And I'll say it with you. 1, 2, 3. I create my own world. Remember that. Nobody else creates your own world. You create your own world. What you do today matters. You decide that you're not going to come in and do homework. Guess what? You created that D. You created that E. You jump in bed with my man, you get pregnant. You created that baby. You created that baby. You want to hustle on the block and you get caught. You created that charge. But you don't have to. How many choices? How many choices? Robert?
A miracle, because what you can do is impossible. All right, my name is Robert Reed. I live in Southfield, Michigan. I'm not originally from Michigan. I came here from New Mexico, right about the time when you were being born in 1996 to go to the University of Michigan. Graduated in 2000. Never been in jail. Never been on drugs. That's not my story. I just want to let you guys know you do have a choice, and the path that you decide to take is really dependent on you. When he says that you create your own world, that's absolutely true. Right? How many of y'all believe it? Okay? It's called seed time and harvest. You can plant the seed, you don't know what kind of fruit you're going to get, but if you make good decisions, it'll work out well for you. Say this for me. Good, better, best.
Good, better, best.
Never let it rest.
Never let it rest.
Until your good is better.
Until your good is better.
And your better is best.
And your better is best.
All right, now, the book that we have that I want to talk to you guys about is actually called When the Cops Come Knocking. And When the Cops Come Knocking is actually a book that 2 attorneys wrote. 2 brothers, they grew up in Muskegon Heights. Anybody ever been up to Muskegon Heights? Got a friend in the Heights? Okay. All right. Nice place to live, right? Awesome. Small town. But I tell you what, the experiences that they had led them to understand that as 2 black men, we are faced with a lot of choices, and a lot of times our culture dictates to us how we choose to react to situations and circumstances, right? Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, let me use the example that Justin used. He said, you know, somebody messes with you in the hall, calls you a punk, slaps the books out your hands, and you have a choice to make, right? What do? Keep it real. Keep it real. That's good stuff. Give it up for him. What do? Don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what you do. What would you do? You don't know? What would you do? Say it again? Ain't about to say it. All right. What would you do? What do you think you'd do? What do you think is the right response? So when you get home, they be like, yeah, man, I heard he called you a punk. And then what you going to say? Yeah, I don't even know how it plays out. I clocked him, man. I got him. I showed him, right? Or, and he's right, that consequence. See, the thing is, you take that reaction based on what you think you need to do, and there's a consequence. You don't know what it is. He covered that. I'm not going to cover that. Let me talk to you about the law side of it. Here's one way it can play out. Let's say that happens to you. You're like, man, we're going to get him. So you get your boys, and you're like, yeah, okay. I walked away. He think he got it, right? I'm going to catch him when he walk home. So you get 3 of your other boys, right? And you're like, cool, we're going to get him. Y'all know how it plays out. Don't act like y'all know how it is, right?
Yeah.
So you jump them, you get them, you stomp them. Got them good. Guess what? You could catch a case. Now let's just say it was you. Jumped them. Your friend heard about it. He wasn't with you when you jumped him. Guess what happens? In the eyes of the law. The law is legal. It's not logical. You would think, that if your friend knew that you was going to jump him, y'all jumped him, and then y'all got in trouble, you think he'd be cool, right? Because he wasn't there, right? He's in trouble too. That's called conspiracy. He knew about a crime that was going to be committed. He did nothing to stop it. He's as guilty as you are when you hit him and you jumped him. That's the law. How many of y'all knew that? I'm going to tell you how it plays out. This young man went to the gas station. Saw some friends from school. They was in the car. He jumped in the car with them. Up the street, cops pulled him over. Happens all the time, right? Guess what? Before he jumped in the car with his friends, they saw another guy. They slapped his Cartier glasses off his face and took him, said punk, whatever, took his glasses, picked up their friend at the gas station. So, number one, when they reached in the car to take his Cartier glasses, they committed a felony. Felony. Hard time. Okay? He jumped in the car. He didn't even know they did that. But guess what? He was with them. Guess what the law says? Guilty by association. Guess where he's at now?
Jail.
He's in jail. He didn't do it. He didn't know about it. He's in jail. Ignorance is no excuse for the law. Right? So all of us are citizens in this great country called the United States, and we all have laws. The criminal law system, it impacts all of us. And so what we want to do is make sure that you are equipped with education to know that you have
Receipts. What's your fantasy? Tell me, what do you plan to be? In 5 years, what are your ideas of the good life? Come on, answer me. Honestly, what do you dream about? Palm trees on the scenic route, or calm breeze seated out on the sun porch of your dream house?
You say this life is all you have, but you wasted time and time again.
See, a lot of people
I pray that you could see how beautiful
they just have
is
money.
the one that you've been searching for.
But we come to offer you Jesus.
Take a look at your life, don't like what you see. If only you could be what you see on TV. Short hair, long legs, full lips, white tee, new whip, new chain, new fresh white tee. If this is what makes you love you, then what is left when these are through? The truth is awaiting. What will you believe in?